Hey folks, just another short update audio. Beautiful morning today. Uh, did some more cleaning and out in the garden today. We had some bad storms come through yesterday and all across the south, but fortunately there was sort of parted and went around me. I didn't really have anything except a whole lot of rain, so yeah, I noticed the across the street where they were going to put a trailer in there that their driveway sort of washed out. They just put in some fill dirt for driveway, and so now they know where the culverts need to go because it flash flooded pretty good through there. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out again to my old buddy Hiram from FB and all my friends really well. You know, the few friends I had on Facebook uh, who seem to be adapting fairly well to using YouTube instead for sort of social media. Um, hey, you know, YouTube actually shows your videos to a few people, anyways. um, but yeah, you know, missing my buddy that we used to chat pretty much all day on there. You know, sort of on Messenger. So I mean, if I had a cell phone, we could still text each other. But also, just I've been texting so much in these chat rooms on YouTube. Shoot, and just writing. I was writing some stuff too. I always just write stuff, and then later on I look at it and I'm like, oh man, this just sounds crazy. It's like I don't know why I wrote all this crap. I guess it just sort of helps me sort of figure out my own mind. I guess sort of helps me deal with my emotions and ideas and stuff. And so this weather's so beautiful today that it's just really hard to be depressed. I'm still missing my monkey girl pretty bad, but still hooked on these dang cigars and trying not to use that kratom stuff. That stuff, oh, I don't know. That stuff just sort of made me seem like it triggered my OCD and everything, and just I don't know. Just stick to the Coca-Cola and cigars, but I don't know why I started smoking cigars again. Well, I do know why, but it was really stupid of me. I mean, I quit smoking when I was 33, and here I'm 54 years old and started back smoking. Oh, God, I could just kick myself over and over for that. But I'm trying to be more positive. I know I've been just dwelling on the news and the war and stuff, and war in Ukraine, and sort of the social media cyber war and that's going on, just and all of the like I can't. I'm not gonna watch the news anymore. No more news. No more news. It's all depressing. It's all designed to sort of, get you worried about something so they can sell you something. So, yeah, if I was selling something, I'd be writing news stories, but I'm not going to be watching any news stories. So, sort of been thinking about selling my house and trying to move, find a job out west somewhere, maybe. I don't know. It's like people look so happy out in California and Las Vegas and stuff. I think some place like that's where it's really happening. You know, Austin, Texas. Of course, the rent's really high. I heard. You know, 'cause so many people wanting to move there. But I don't know. I mean, it's a really pretty nice place. Like today is just so beautiful. I was like, man, I don't want to leave here. This is my home. I saw hawks, like a whole group of hawks. I think it was like five or six of them at least. I mean, pretty sure it was five of them, and they're flying in a formation. They were very low, right over the treetops. Well, this morning, first thing, there was appeared to be a red-tailed hawk out there across the street this time. But I have a couple of them up in my trees quite a bit, just out there, or scream, whatever. It's a very characteristic hawk sound that they make. Beautiful sound, beautiful birds, but I guess because they mow down all these forests around here that they just don't have anywhere else to stay. It's like there's one house where they haven't cut down all the trees yet. So they're like all around my little bitty property here. It's not even a whole acre of land, but it's just enough really tall pine trees, I guess, for them to hang out. Well, I know I got rats in the attic. This 100-year-old house, there's no insulation in the walls. You can hear them scurrying around up in the walls. I'm ready to. Well, I sure hope I can get a big settlement check, or hit the lottery, or get a decent job somewhere, and or sell this house or something. 'Cause, I mean, I really got to. This house needs so much work. It needs a new roof. It needs insulation badly. But I mean, when the wind blows, it puts the candle out. But other than that, uh, it's just such a beautiful day today. I'm really feeling much better as far as grieving over Monkey Girl, and been cleaning a lot, and just wore my hands out. So already getting carpal tunnel from chatting, so I didn't really hardly chat. I was listening to one of my shows last night. I usually stay in the chat quite a bit, but I was like, sorry y'all, I just can't type anymore for a little while. Like both my elbows killing me, and I don't know like haven't done anything to them, so it's got to be from all the typing I've been doing, writing junk, and I don't I guess I'm gonna write a book like the autobiography thing either. I thought about maybe I could write a book, but not an autobiography. It's too soon for my autobiography. I mean, I might have a few more years left in me, but yeah, I thought about maybe just writing about some. I'm not really into the paranormal stuff and ghost stories and all this, but that said, I mean, I used to be a skeptic and a complete atheist, and now I'm a true believer, and I've seen some weird things. And I mean, like I said, I don't like dwelling on it. I don't really like watching scary stuff. I'm not into scary movies. If you want to go see a scary movie, fine. But if there's a scary movie on TV, I'm moving to the next room and putting in earplugs because I don't want to hear anything scary. I've been fretting over this, uh, the war or whatever over there, and worried about turning nuclear, and it just don't look good. So that's just hurting my soul right now. Uh, still crying over Monkey Girl just every now and then. I mean, I've been pretty good at fighting it and not just really breaking down in public or nothing, but I'm here by myself and the storm coming. I mean, she used to comfort me and come hang out with me, or I used to protect her. Well, yeah, it's been a beautiful morning though. It's really beautiful day. Did a lot of walking around the garden. I can't say I did a lot of gardening. Um, but I noticed I have like some cherry trees. Looks like some cherry trees coming up from seed. Looks like my two Meyer lemons from Sparrow survived. Some seeds that Sparrow sent me. The fava beans that Sparrow sent me is doing good. They're actually blooming. I guess these are some that overwintered. We only had a couple cold spells. My two date palm trees that I planted some date palm pits. They seem to have overwintered the frost. We had just a couple of frosts, but they seem to be coming back from the root or didn't really die all the way back. So I don't know. I don't know how well those will fare here. It just, we might eventually have a really hard freeze that'll kill them. But it's interesting to see. I'd be curious to know how long the date palms will survive in northern Louisiana, because it does sometimes get really cold, at least down into the teens. I've seen single digits a couple times in my life here too. But yeah, this is my garden update for my buddy Hiram, because we talk about gardening a lot on the chat. or we used to on Messenger. So I'm trying to think what else has been happening today on the garden and stuff. Yeah, excuse me. Looks like some cherries coming up. I think I actually might have some apple. Like I planted a bunch of apple seeds too that I saved. Looks like they might be coming up some apples, but I'm not sure where I planted them. You start marking better where I plant things. I kind of was like, well, I'll just figure it out when it sprouts. As long as it's in a little bed area, I know it's something probably something I planted, but I just don't know what variety or what. Oh yeah, I had some plum trees too that sprouted from seed. No sign on persimmons yet, but I mean I just planted them. That's gonna take a minute. Oh, saw my first stalk of asparagus coming up. So some early asparagus is already coming up. The wild opium lettuce, which is a sort of a sleep aid. It's not really opium. It's just a wild type of legal lettuce. It's a mild sedative. Some people say it's like a mild stimulant too, but I don't know. I've tried it a couple times. It just knocked me out. So I didn't feel any kind of buzz or anything like that either. So it just really just kind of put me to sleep. So that's just sort of a natural sleep aid. It's the wild, not the prickly lettuce. Well, some people might call it prickly lettuce, but we got so we have several types of like wild in the lettuce family. There's horse nettle around here. I'm trying to think of what the other one is that looks just like it. But there's a young man that walks around here that's real into gardening. He stops by sometime to visit and chat. So that's really nice to have a young friend. He says he's autistic or whatever, and I figure I probably was too when I was a kid. I know I had dyslexia. I still can't spell. I still really can't spell. I use the computer to help me with my spelling. I can read big words and I can use big words, but I can't spell them. Anyhow, yeah. So the young man come by day before yesterday, and he wants some more of those fava beans, and I told him I already planted them all. So I guess Sparrow Garden, if you see this, send some more fava beans in your next care package there. And I really appreciated that too. By the way, I'm still using the soap and stuff you sent, and the batteries for the flashlight especially. Oh, excuse me. I was up really early, so I guess I'm nap time. All right, I guess that's it for this update video. Just wanted to. I'm still debating on what to do with my channel. Like I said, I was thinking about maybe uh, talking about talking a little bit about the ghost stories and things and paranormal, but I don't really know if I'm gonna stick with UFOs or go back to the free energy stuff, or kind of ranting about how come we're not using it. Why are we still burning oil and gas and using dirty nukes and killing the planet? And apparently somebody hates this planet. But the aliens are taking all the good stuff for themselves. But there's a lot of these common elements apparently can be used for free energy. Lithium's not that rare, but there's other elements that apparently have way more the strong nuclear force in them than you know even water. Water apparently has more energy than oil. It's denser because oil floats on water. So just think about that. And I was looking at the Noble Pap, not Noble, the Joe Pap noble gas engine that supposedly ran on noble gases. But a lot of people think he just can run it on air. That I'm not too sure on how much of this sort of reaction that you can get from just ordinary air. I mean, it's got a lot of nitrogen in it, but there's some noble gases in our atmosphere too. I mean, there's helium and there's argon and xenon. Just in the natural atmosphere, slight amount of xenon and radon. There's quite a bit of radon in some parts of the world just floating around in the air. So and there's a lot of probably a lot of nuclear waste floating around these days from Fukushima and Chernobyl. So just hoping we don't have any kind of serious war with this um, people over there. Bless their hearts. I hope they can make peace. These are brothers fighting brother over there. So that's kind of upsetting. I just can't watch the news anymore. So I don't know what to make. I wish I had a camera though. God, these hawks. Man, I'm telling you guys, folks out there, hire them. Everybody, these hawks were flying in like a formation, very low. Just when they went and they turned, I was like, if I didn't know any better, I was like, are these drones disguised as, these are Air Force drones disguised as hawks. These are robotic hawks. They're not real hawks. They were flying in like perfect formation and swooping around, and they normally you just see them riding thermal vents and going up higher and higher, just lone hawk here and there. But this was like a whole gang of hawks cruising in formation and swooping around. It was really beautiful, beautiful sight, and the weather's just sunny and breezy and perfect temperatures, low humidity, which is rare for Louisiana. Trust me, it's a swamp state, the bayou state, but it's more of a swamp than anything. It's always really wet and humid here, but hey, today it just felt like it reminded me of kind of being on the beach in Florida when I was a 3-year-old kid. Yeah, it's weird. I can remember so far dang back. I mean, I can literally. I mean, I still have like recurring nightmares apparently from being in my mother's womb, and I don't know. Here, my dad was yelling. I guess he was just yelling at the other kids or yelling at mom or what. But I could tell we were like both having a panic attack, and I couldn't even understand the English, but it was my dad's voice. I started having this recurring dream, when I was maybe 4 or 5, and lasted for a while. And I was like, what was that all about? Later on, I kind of deduced that that's what it was. It was actually just a memory of my dad kind of either losing his temper with my mom or I never struck my mom, but he sort of raise his voice, and she would just sort of get PTSD from that, and just sort of shut down. Like when he'd start getting angry, she'd just kind of go into safe mode or something, and then he'd apologize. Oh, I shouldn't have raised my voice and everything. But so yeah, that was a weird. I mean, I remember like my first ghost stories. I might start with ghost stories and just do a short series of ghost stories. Sun Savers Ghost Stories, chapter 1 or something. So maybe I'll do that from the next video or what, I don't know. Like I said though, I wish I did have a portable camera that I could take outside and film all the wildlife and just cool stuff coming up in my garden and any weird things I might see flying around the sky. But there's just so many other UFO channels out there now, and they're all doing really good. I mean, shoot, they're doing actual research. I mean, I just like to talk about it and just kind of think about it and look at stuff every now and then. But I haven't collected. I don't have any kind of um, video software to really make decent videos. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm how much I want to do on the UFO stuff because just like I said, it's all of a sudden it's really popular. I mean, I thought it was like a little niche market that I might do. Well, I'm not really. I mean, I've only had a few encounters, so I haven't really researched it. Like this, I shout out this channel. Witness Citizen is what it's called. I think, is doing UFOs. This guy really can sing good and writes music, plays music, or what. I don't know if he's got a band or if he's just doing it all, the one man show kind of thing. But hey, that stuff sounds really good. I like his lyrics, sound trippy, and singing voice is not bad at all. And there's a guy named Michael Schratt. He's been doing UFO stuff for years, and so he sort of reproduces and has sketch artists and stuff to do real, you know, real. I mean, sketches of official reports of UFOs that people have, given to MUFON or other UFO reporting agencies and whatever. So um, that's one I really like. This working hard at it, and there's UFO Garage. This really couple young guys that are really humorous and thought provoking. They're just sort of trying to help open people's minds and sort of educate without sort of indoctrinating people. Seems like just sort of lay it out there for you, make let you decide, make up your own mind. Not trying to say aliens are real or not real, just that there's something weird happening, to a lot of people. There's a lot of experiencers out here that have seen UFOs from time to time. Like I said, I don't, very rare, few and far between for me, but I used to be a total skeptic, and I was an atheist too. Didn't really believe in God, and or was skeptical. Very very agnostic at the least. Uh, but then I became less skeptical, less atheistic and more agnostic, and I became less agnostic and I started seeing things like, yeah, I'm convinced. I started praying, so I pray all the time now. I mean, I still study science. I still believe in science too, but I just feel like all roads lead to the conclusion that there is a divine higher power. Even though there's a lot of bad things happen in this world, they're not caused by God. God is just a concept of a higher power too. We don't have to personify. I mean, of course, the Christians we kind of do personify, into Jesus, but it's to each their own on that. But the ghost stories, hey, are these departed souls? Are these angels just posing as humans, or aliens posing as humans, or what's going on there? Are these there's a lot of different theories. Like again, I'm not into paranormal stuff, but I've heard all these different sort of old um, mythology about different types of like sirens or whatever that will just sort of act like a crying baby to lure you away and stuff, or sounds like someone you know. Well, I'll get off into that. And that's going on 20 minutes here. I said short updates. It's turned into a long rambling lecture again or talk. But well, I'm just lonely here. I used to talk to Monkey Girl. I talk to myself too, so that's why my neighbors think I'm crazy. I probably talk to myself still. I used to talk to Monkey Girl just to keep my sanity. Like Wilson on the Tom Hanks movie. Talking to his soccer ball there, but Monkey Girl would sit and look at me and listen and kind of cock her head, and then if she heard me sort of getting my ire up and seemed irritated, I realized coffee makes me irritable, but if she saw me getting irritable, then she'd start kind of growling at me a little bit too, like. I was like, "Oh, you don't like that, huh?" She's like, "Oh, yeah." She really would respond like it. She didn't understand much English, I'm sure, but in cat terminology, I'm sure she was, and she read my mind too. That was another strange thing. I really think that our brains are like radios, and that the bigger the brain just sort of overpowers the smaller radio, like it's like military jamming or something. So I can't read my cat's mind, but she probably could hear everything I was thinking. And I think probably like if we understood like elephant or whale language, we could probably hear everything that they're thinking too. Like if they spoke English, like if elephant spoke English and was trained how to speak English, that sucker could probably really use telepathy on you and totally dominate you because they got a much bigger brain. I'm not saying they would be smarter, just because they have a bigger brain. We don't really, the connections might not be wired quite as in a sophisticated. You never know. Like birds are super smart people. The old saying "bird brain," that's not an insult. Birds are actually highly intelligent, even if they have a tiny brain, but it's wired so efficiently, like almost like a supercomputer, parallel computing. Because like parrots, especially, they have to map these these wild jungles. Like taxi cab drivers, they really got to know their way around, or they can get you lost. But anyhow, well, I really wish I could get back to filming wildlife and doing the environmental activism. That's what I really want to be doing. The UFOs, though, just one more thing. And the some of the mass sightings around schools, they quite frequently, they say hey, y'all need to take care of your planet. You need to start shutting down these nukes, and you need to quit burning down your forests, like the Westall School, and I guess that was in Australia, and then also in Zimbabwe, or some school in Zimbabwe in Africa. These all the kids reported seeing the same sort of little saucer, the little gray men, and what did they say? Well, hey, they're warning about the environment. You're cutting down the trees that you need to breathe, you idiots. So I don't understand why we're not paying attention to what these higher beings are trying to tell us. That's it for this video, audio. Thanks for listening.